Hey guys, so in this video we're going to learn how to find the indefinite integral of a function. We're going to do that by looking at the following functions. Here we have the functions f of x, which is equal to x squared plus 3, g of x, which is equal to x squared minus the square root of 5, and h of x, which is equal to x squared plus pi. Now if we take the derivative of each of these functions, all three functions have the same derivative. The derivative of f of x, which is f prime of x, g of x, which is g prime of x, and h of x, which is h prime of x with respect to x is equal to 2x. Right? We multiply the power and decrease the power by 1 for these x squared terms, so we get 2x. And since we have constants over here, the derivative of all of these constants is 0. So all three functions have the same derivative, which is equal to 2x. But what if I was given this derivative over here, and I had to find the original function for which the derivative was equal to 2x? So in other words, if I differentiate these functions, right, I get 2x. I find the derivative of these functions, the derivative is equal to 2x. But the question is, if I'm given the derivative, how do I find the original function? Well, for that we use something known as integration. Integration can be thought of as the reverse process of differentiation. The symbol that we use for integration is this long s. What we're doing here is we're integrating 2x with respect to x, so we say dx. And what that does is it reverses the process of differentiation. So for these functions, when we took the derivative of these functions, the derivative was 2x. If we integrate 2x with respect to x, we get back x squared. It's the reverse process. So for differentiation, we multiplied the power and then decreased the power by 1. When we integrate 2x, we increase the power by 1, so the power goes from 1 to 2, and we divide by the new power. So we have 2x squared divided by 2, and that gives us x squared back. So we've reversed the process of differentiation. One thing to note over here is that we also get something known as a constant of integration. So when we integrate 2x with respect to x, it's equal to x squared plus c. The reason why is, if we were to take the derivative for any of these functions, we would get 2x as the derivative. And if we want to reverse that process of differentiation, we would definitely get x squared, but we would also get some other constant. Now we don't know if the constant would be 3 or negative square root of 5 or plus pi or any other constant here. So there is some constant that we would get, and that constant can only be determined if we were given additional information about the original function. So that's what we mean by the constant of integration. If we take the derivative for any function of this form, the derivative will be equal to 2x. Since the derivative of x squared would be 2x, and the derivative of the constant term would simply be 0. So this type of an integral is known as an indefinite integral.